Well, good morning and welcome back to Revival from the Bible. And welcome to Good Friday. And so I worked with some of the rest of our staff to put this schedule together. If you've been looking at this, maybe you've been crossing off the days as you read through this for our schedule for the year. And we just tried to divide it up each day. What I did not intentionally do was make sure that we are reading about the death of Jesus Christ literally on Good Friday. But that is how it worked out. So I want us to look at Matthew 27 this morning. And really, I'm going to keep this somewhat briefer today because, hey, I want you to join us tonight at 8 p.m. for our online Good Friday service. If you can't make it at that time, it'll be recorded and you can watch it whenever, but it'd be great to watch it together at 8 o'clock tonight. Prime time viewing for our Good Friday service. But when our reading picks up today, it picks up now with Jesus on the cross, and it starts then with darkness for 3 hours. And at the end of that, Jesus cries out with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Now, where does that quote come from? Oh yeah, Psalm 22. And we're going to talk about that tonight. Psalm 22. But then we see just some things to notice. Jesus cries out in verse 50 with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. Remember, Jesus talks about he gives up his life. No one can take it from him. And that's even reflected in the language here. He yields up his spirit, right? No one took it from him. He yields it up. But in that moment, right, he felt forsaken by God. In that moment, it's the only time in eternity that Jesus experienced, the wrath of God. He felt, God, why have you forsaken me, right? Think about what an intense thing that was for Jesus, the Son of God, to say. But I also want you to think about what that accomplished for you and me. Verse 51, "And behold, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom." Right? The way into God, the way into the Holy of Holies has now been opened. There's a new and living way through Jesus Christ. In him we have access to the throne of grace, right? That we have access that people in the Old Testament would only have dreamed about because the veil has been torn, right? And that was a statement, right? Nobody could tear this veil from top to bottom, right? That just wouldn't happen, right? There's no way somebody could have pulled that off. The proof of what Jesus did. And even these events, that they catch notice of the centurion. Truly, this was the Son of God. And so, since it worked out this year that we're reading about the death of Christ on Good Friday, I would encourage you to just spend time praying and thanking God today for the cross. Thank him for the cross. That we would come to that place once again, right? As the song says, "Once again, I look upon the cross where you died. I'm humbled by your mercy and I'm broken inside." That we would thank God from the bottom of our heart for what Jesus did, for the wrath that he bore, so that the veil might be torn and you and I might have access to God. And so we read from several other places today, but I'd love for us to keep our focus here in Matthew today and thinking about what Jesus has done for us. And we're going to reflect on that more tonight as we reflect on the death of Christ and what he has done for us there. So we'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight for our online Good Friday service.